Welcome to the Travel Business Unpacked, where passion meets possibility. Here's your host, #1 Amazon bestseller, Meredith Calloway.
Hello, and welcome to the Travel Business Unpacked podcast. I am your host, Meredith Calloway, and my guest today is Julien Nolan from Husseau, which is the name of his business. It is a travel advisory company. And before I actually, I'll go ahead and welcome you. Hi, Julien. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Meredith. Thank you for having me today. Thank you.
So very excited to have you. If you detected an accent, Julien is French, born and raised. And if you can see the video, he may not be hailing from Paris, but in the spirit of hailing from Paris or Paris,
That's
as he
right.
would like to say.
Paris.
So Julien is a very recent graduate. Specifically today, he
Today,
graduated from
that's
the
right.
Travel MBA program. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what I love about Julien is that he came to the program, he came to his travel entrepreneurial journey very, very clear on who his client is and the kind of travel service that he wants to deliver, which is serving the ultra high net worth client. And we'll talk a little bit about his experience and how he was able to come with so much clarity so early in the journey. A lot of people,
Right.
transition to that later on in the journey. But what I love about having Julien is I feel like he is going to inspire two different types of listeners to this podcast. The first is someone who hasn't started a travel business yet and is in a service that serves the high net worth or ultra high net worth client and has been wondering, can I translate this into starting my own travel business? And the answer is an emphatic yes. And Julien is your evidence that yes, you can. But the other person that I think, listener of the podcast, that this is going to be really exciting for is the person who really wants to crack the code on selling luxury, true luxury, right? That's also quite a spectrum of possibility, but really wants to crack the code on how to deliver, like what does that look like servicing a client that is high net worth or ultra high net worth, and how does that differ from how I'm currently servicing my possibly mass market, possibly premium clients. Why I love this topic so much is because we are seeing, as a host agency, a really incredible trend in earning potential for the travel advisor. Since the pandemic, our overall sales, we had triple digit growth in 22 over 21. We had triple digit growth in 23 over 22. We had triple digit growth in 24 over 23, and then double digit growth in 25 over 24. And we didn't really grow the number of advisors. So our advisors were seeing that kind of growth
Mhm.
and and a corresponding growth in their earnings potential, in their earnings. The average commission of our top producers club before the pandemic was probably under $100,000, but the average commission earned post pandemic kept going up. And now, as of 2025, the average commissions earned of our entire top producers club was $356,000. So the earnings potential just in what we're seeing has more than tripled in the past 4 years. And the reason why is because, once he took the opportunity to travel away from travelers during the pandemic, when it returned, it came back in full force. And people are prioritizing travel. But the most, like the greatest sector that's prioritizing this travel is the high net worth and the ultra high net worth sector. And ironically, there are just not enough qualified, established advisors to truly serve that market. So I think the opportunity is wide open. So if you're sitting here listening to this podcast saying, I'm not like Julian, I don't have any kind of connections in the high net worth, ultra high net worth, luxury space. So I could never make this transition. I want you to think again because I think there is so much possibility if you want to focus on this market. So let's talk about this. Let's unpack it. So Julian, let's just start with how did you get your start in, this VIP, very elite hospitality service sector?
So, as you mentioned earlier, Meredith, I'm from France, from the south of France, from Nice. I was born and raised in Nice,
Oh,
and
how cool.
yeah, beautiful, beautiful region. I'm sure a lot of advisor knows and book actually a lot the south of France, and it's always the top destination. And as you know, Nice is very close to Monaco. It's only 30 minutes drive from Nice. And in Monaco, you have all the wealthiest people from around the world who live there, sports celebrities. Obviously, they don't pay taxes over there. So it makes sense for them to buy an apartment, have an
Yeah.
address in Monaco. And so my dad used to work in Monaco for many years. So I used to go to Monaco a lot. And obviously, one of my first job was I was a client advisor for this luxury brand called Lanvin, which is a French luxury brand. So I worked there for 1 year, and it was pretty incredible to work in Monaco for a year. And I learned a lot of things about how to take care of those very specific high net worth people, wealthy people in Monaco, international people, and that was an incredible year, to work for Lova in Monaco. And also, I was still in school back in the days. I was doing a business school. So I needed to make more money. So I was also a private driver for a wealthy gentleman from UK, from Oxford. So I was driving him around 3, 4 times a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he used to live in Monaco, and very nice gentleman. And so I was young. I was 20 years old, need some money, besides school.
Yeah.
And so he introduced me to a
You were
lot of
a high-end
people.
Uber on demand for
Ex
him.
exactly. But when you're 20 years old, and what happened and what really changed is one day I remember he texting me and said, "Julian, I want to introduce you to a friend. He needs a driver as well, not for the full week, a couple of days per week. He used to have a private driver, but he got a back surgery, cannot drive for a couple of months. So I would love to meet him." I say, "Yeah, absolutely. Why not?" And you know who was that person? It was Bono, the lead singer of
Oh
YouTube.
my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah.
Oh my
So
oh my
think about it. I
gosh.
was 20 years old. I didn't know at all. He
Oh,
didn't
man.
tell me anything. So I met Bono uh, when I was 20 years old, and he said,
So
"Okay."
you didn't know who it was,
Absolutely not. I didn't know
but
who.
did you recognize him the minute you saw him?
Oh, right away, right away.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
in
So you were a
Monaco,
fan, already a fan.
Bono, for your information, Bono has been living in Monaco for 30 years. So
Okay.
he's from Ireland, but he's been living in
Yeah.
Monaco for
I
for
know
a
when you go to
long.
Ireland and you visit, like, Dublin, they get a little bitter because, he's
For
supposedly from Ireland, but
e
he hasn't been living in Ireland for a very long time.
exactly. So it was an incredible surprise when obviously, wow, I saw Bono, was like, "Okay, okay, let's go. You hire." And so I got his phone number. Anytime he needed me, I was picking him up and driving. It was mostly driving him to his apartment, to the Nice airport. He was traveling back and forth. It was very simple, but and you know what? I established a really good relationship with him, and I never asked for pictures of him. I never asked, never talk about, never been like a fan,
Mm.
we were talking about life when I was
Yeah.
driving him, and I think he really appreciated that. And actually, he introduced me to other very important people in Monaco, and this is how I learned, how to talk, how to engage, how to build a relationship with those very important people. Obviously, Bono is one of the biggest music star around the world, and at the end of the day, he's human, and
Yeah.
the type of people really appreciate, you know, uh, authentic connections, authentic, and not
Yeah.
just talking about money, what they do,
Yeah.
fame. They have so many people around us who just talk only about that. They are like, "Oh my God, this is Bono," but
They're probably so tired of people
exactly,
coming at them from a get place. "What can I
e
get from you? What can I get from you?"
exactly. So,
Yeah,
exactly.
and I
So
think you said it perfectly, like, you were just there to provide an authentic connection with someone, like, person to person. I'm a real person, you're a real person. Let's
And
talk.
exactly, Meredith. And actually, anytime I was driving him and he was always asking, "Oh, how is your mom? How is your sister?"
Aw.
Yeah. So,
Out of
and
curiosity, I mean, you're 20 years old.
20
Did
years
you
old.
were you able to, like, keep that confidential, like, even with your friends? Did you tell any of your friends?
So
Were you able
obviously I
to
told all my best friends because I mean we were sharing everything and it was
Yeah,
such a big deal and but they were very respectful, but
yeah,
obviously, I didn't spread the words, Again,
yeah,
it's about privacy. I respect
yeah,
privacy, and it applies also today with the top clients that I have. It's all about privacy, It's
yeah.
a very, very important component in a luxury travel business. And so, yeah, through Bono, it really, really helps me to develop this personal relationship, connection with important people at a very young age. And it really helps me, even
And
until
by
now.
important people, are you saying, like, people who could employ you, in another sector of luxury services? Is
Yeah,
that what you mean? Okay,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And how to deal and build relationship with,
yeah,
wealthy people,
right,
you know,
right,
how to talk to them, how to build a relationship through times. And at the end, we almost like, I don't want to say friends, but we are part of their personal life. They trust you. It's all about
yeah,
trust. Once they trust you, they
yes.
open the door. It takes some time. It
It
takes time.
takes time, but that's exactly what I've heard over and over again, and that's what we teach
And it's
is
a balance. It's a
it's
balance
a
because
balance.
same thing. Look, I came back to Bono. I have his phone number, personal cell phone number. If I want it, I can just text him all the time. But you have to find the right balance.
Yes,
Don't be too
yes,
pushy. Even if
yes,
you need to ask something, and it's hard. It's hard. It's a feeling. It's personal interaction. I think it's a gift. It's a
yeah.
gift for some people, and I always love what I've been doing about that. I mean, I enjoy it. I think it's natural. There is a lot of things that I don't do great, but when it comes to personal interaction, building relationship, I'm I always love to do it. It's in an authentic way, my own
Yes.
way, and yeah, it's been working so far.
So now you're 1 year in to your travel advisory business journey. Um, what, you know, what would you say was unexpected? Maybe an unexpected challenge? Did you come across anything that you didn't expect? And
Yes,
then on the other
absolutely.
side of it, what were you pleasantly surprised by?
Oh yeah. First of all, as you know, Meredith, when you travel, things can happen
Mhm.
any days. And when we planning those very specific trip, like highly designed, bespoke travel, in one day, I have a client who she twisted her ankle in
Oh,
Italy,
yeah.
and it was a pretty bad ankle sprain. But the thing is, it has a domino effect on the everything else. So we plan all the experiences in one day. Time by time, the private driver was there. Everything was perfectly planned, but everything changed.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I deal with this problem. So the good thing is we work with incredible partners and
Yeah.
DMC with Gift Travel Network and incredible people. So we are not alone on
Yes. You had a whole team working on it with you,
exactly. So because
and
trust
they
me,
were boots on the ground probably too.
exactly.
Yeah.
So when it happened, it was in the middle of the night. Here in
Oh, wow.
Houston, I was asleep, or I'm always looking at my phone anyways, when I have a client traveling overseas,
Mhm.
I care so much, so I don't sleep well, looking at my phone to sleep, but, you have to sleep too. And so I got an text from the clients, what happened, and the DMC as well. In Italy, it was incredible. They have obviously a 24 hours concierge services, assistance, and was very helpful because, when something like this happened and everything changed, and you have to be very reactive, and
You have to be very reactive
so
and a
it's very,
problem solver in a very quick way.
exactly, and it can be very stressful, but you have to try your best that you can. And again, you're not alone. We work with
Right.
incredible DMC. They were very, very helpful. We were able to switch things, to change some days, and obviously be able to take care of the clients, and take her to the hospital and get some X-rays. And they saw it was a couple, and they saw we were very reactive and we were on
Mm.
top, and we were trying everything we can, and they were very respectful for that, and very
And you
appreciative.
probably have a client for life now because of that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't think you can fix every single issues, and but
Right.
at least you try your best, and you're very reactive, and the clients see it. It's the most important thing. Yeah,
I love
facts.
that example because it really highlights the pricelessness of having the right partners and access to the
Oh,
right partners. And I do calls as chief membership development officer, which is my role right now. Um, I do calls with experienced advisors considering switching hosts. And a lot of times I'm talking to someone who's coming from a non luxury host. I mean, they might have some luxury relationships, but
right, right.
and I think until you really get into the luxury space, there are some things you don't know what you don't know. And one of the things that a lot of people who are transitioning to luxury may not know they don't know is how critical it is to choose a host that has access to true luxury partners, and we are not the only one that does. So
Mm.
this is not an ad for Gift to Travel Network. Um, but if you want to get into the luxury space and especially be working with high net worth and ultra high net worth clients, your absolute secret weapon
Oh,
is DMCs.
absolutely,
You want
100%.
that your host has those relationships, deep, vetted relationships with those DMCs, because the DMCs are really what make you look like a rock star. Like you just
Yeah,
said, you weren't alone, right? You had an
no, you're not
entire
alone.
people who were in Italy, you know, able to take care of this and react very quickly and problem solve and get her to the hospital and then obviously make changes
Yeah,
to the itinerary, the rest of the
ex
itinerary.
the partners that we have here at GTN are absolutely incredible. It's,
But like how like that was unexpected, right? And so but it was really good for you to have that so early in your career. You probably didn't want something like that to
I know,
happen.
I know. It's, you don't want that, absolutely not. But
Yeah.
again, when you travel, this is what I tell my
Yeah.
clients also before they go on vacation, before when you travel, things can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, on her side, we got everything is planned properly. We are
Yeah.
well organized. I'm well organized. But you never know. You can get sick. Like she twists her ankle and
Yeah.
she has to go to the hospital. It can happen, and you got to be prepared. And again, the DMC, the partners that we've been working with, or GTN, are incredible, incredible.
So,
Seriously.
what have you been pleasantly surprised by in this now looking back in your first year?
Oh, the power that we have to change people's life just with some experience, especially those
I
wealthy
love that
and
answer. I absolutely love that answer.
yeah,
It's so it, like, gives me chills, and it's
yeah.
what gets
It's
me up in the morning knowing that I have the opportunity to help other people find this career path.
and I have a good story actually, Meredith. So actually one of my best clients, I will say, they are a couple here from Houston, an amazing couple, and they are very successful. They are commercial real estate developers, and he's 60 years old, and he's dealing with a very serious disease, uh,
Mm,
very serious. And they are the nicest people. And he told me, Julian, the only thing I want is to have good memory. I want
mm.
memory.
Oh,
Yeah. If I want memory with my wife, with my he has three kids.
oh
Uh,
my god.
yeah, and he's only 60 years old, and he's dealing with a very serious illness who affects his daily life. Actually, I mean, obviously, the doctor doesn't want him to travel, but he wants to.
Yeah,
He said, Julian, I don't care if something happened to me in Iceland. I don't care if something happened to me in France or
yep,
Italy. It can happen to me in Houston. I want memories. And you know what? I regret that, he made a good living, making good money. But he told me, Julian, I regret I didn't travel more before.
more.
Yeah, I regret it. And see, he can afford everything he wants. And so, yeah, life is short. Things
Yeah,
change in one day. And so, talking about these clients, recently we have amazing trip in France because France is a number. It's not because I'm French, but France is it's the number one destination for my
yeah.
clients in Texas, in Houston, by far. Uh, so I planned a wonderful 1 week trip for him and his wife, and it was so incredible. And we also plan. I don't know if you know this town in the southwest of France called Lourdes. In the US, they say Lourdes. There is a Lourdes. Lourdes. This is a
Lord.
little town where a lot of people who have serious illness go there to
Oh,
pray. There is magical water as well.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I've heard about
Yeah,
this.
if you Google it, it's very,
Yeah,
very popular around the world. People come there just to take a bath in those magical waters. Miracles happen in Lourdes. So he asked me, Julian, I want to go there and I want to take a bath in those magical water. And so we planned this, 2 days trip from Paris, taking the bullet train to go all the way south to the southwest of France, go to Lourdes. There is no luxury hotel over there. It's
yeah.
very simple, but he really wanted to do it. He did it. He had a wonderful time. He was able to go on this water for 10 minutes and he helped him. He helped him. He told me incredible. He felt better. His back felt better, no pain. And he came back. He told me, Julian, that was the best trip ever. The best.
Wow,
So, I just go above and beyond for them. And it's so,
that's
yeah,
incredible. Wow.
yeah. So that was pretty special for me. And
Well,
those,
that's a really cool, pleasant surprise.
yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely.
A really good answer. So, you said something a little bit earlier about how you keep your cell phone and on even while you sleep, and sometimes when your clients are traveling, you can't sleep because you just wanna make sure everything goes right. But as a coach, I'm going to tell you that that isn't really sustainable long term. So, do you have boundaries in place? Like, how do you balance putting some boundaries in place with your clients, but also being super high touch and knowing that you're dealing with a client that expects a 24/7 level of service?
But the good thing, Meredith, as I mentioned earlier, we work with incredible partners.
Yeah.
So obviously, when I started the MBA program, a lot of things were new for me, and now I feel much better,
Yeah,
knowing much, much, much better that we can trust
you
1000%
can totally trust them.
her partners. So I sleep better because I trust them. I already work with them, and we know each other.
Yeah,
We know we exchange so many emails. We go on a Zoom call to prepare the trip, so we get a pretty good relationship now. So I have more trust. I sleep better. I still have my phone and check, but it's better than before.
yeah,
Because there is trust, trust, trust in the
yeah.
DMC, the partner that we use. So no, but because you're right, if I don't sleep at night, I don't trust, and so I know they are in good hands.
Yeah.
I know, and they know when it's morning time here in Houston. I will be on my phone if we need anything, and so yeah, I'm available. So it's much much better than the first 6 months.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm curious about, the name, Husseau.
yeah. hmm
Where does that come from?
So when I was young, I used to spend a lot of time in the beautiful Loire Valley
Mhm,
in France, which is an hour south of Paris by the bullet train. As you know, you can see you have all the most beautiful castles around the
mhm.
world. And I have my uncle and auntie, they live over there. And I used to spend my summer vacation over there 3 weeks. And I remember going to this beautiful hill with my bike and on top of the hill looking at the Loire Valley and beautiful landscape and that hill name is called Yuso.
Okay.
So that was, I guess, the starting point of developing this passion about travel, when I was going there, going on that hill. So
Yeah.
it made sense for me,
Awesome.
to call my company Yuso. But as you can see, I'm very into aesthetic. I remember when we met last year, I told you aesthetic, especially for luxury brand.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
very branding, images. It's very, very important. And I love it.
Yes.
I'm always
Yeah.
be kind of obsessed about aesthetic. So I'm very drawn into minimalist,
Yes.
neutral, quiet luxury design. And that philosophy carries through everything I design. You can
Yeah.
look at my website and you
I
will
love
never
your website. It's
yeah,
really well done.
you don't see any colorful pictures, no palm trees, and I respect that, you have
Yeah.
to I respect this is not what I wanted to do. This is
Yeah.
again, I'm very into minimalist design, quiet luxury.
Yeah.
And so every visual or key, I think it's a window when those top clients, very wealthy people look at that, I think it has a very strong impact. And
Yeah.
I didn't want something too busy. I don't like when it's too busy, too colorful, and again, I respect some other travel advisor might go that direction, but I respect that. But this is not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I take care of all my design, all the aesthetic. I'm very critical about it and very details. The font, like you. I mean, I remember when talking about it. Even
Yeah.
the text, the color, the
Yeah.
size, the spacing. It has a huge impact, and you have to be sensitive to that. And
You do. And I love that you came with that because sometimes we have to really um, influence the travel MBA student how important it is to have a magnetic, elevated brand.
oh,
And you have to develop the brand first before you come up with your marketing assets. You
100%.
have to have a brand concept and an essence to the brand, which really is a message, a brand message, that then gets translated visually into your branded assets. And you've done such a great job with yours.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what it is.
I have a question about so one of the biggest upsides that make transitioning to luxury the smartest path to really succeeding in this profession is the fact that the margins are you get commissions with a comma, right? Like, the margins are just so much higher, so you can have a smaller book of business
Right.
and still make a lot more money than someone who's selling mass market or premium travel. And so
Exactly.
when you're selling mass market or premium travel and you do have to do 100 bookings a year to really get to 7 figures in sales, 6 figures in income, you don't have the luxury, no pun intended, you don't have the luxury of developing a relationship with your client the way that the luxury client really wants to have with the service provider. Your relationships tend to be more transactional. And sometimes that's on the client side too. The
Yeah,
client
true, true.
wants a
Yeah.
transactional relationship, right? I just want to get the best price on this cruise. Can you tell us from your perspective, what things do you do or what aspects do you layer in to your relationship with your client so that it is not transactional?
So first of all, I decided to work with a limited referral only clientele.
Okay.
So so that way, I mean, it's maximum personalization, maximum
Mhm.
attention,
Yeah.
and especially in this first year or two where I don't want to do a lot of clients, I want to do the right clients,
Yes.
and it's referral only. And I'm
Love
gonna
that.
going back very quickly about my background before starting my travel business. I used to work for a restaurant group, Fig and Olive, very popular in the US. I was the director of VIP client for 15 years. So I've been taking care of very important people throughout all the markets in New York, in Chicago, in Houston, at every restaurant. It was, and also I was creating programs with luxury brands. So that's why into my business, obviously the core is the travel, bespoke travel design, but I have attached very specific services, high level
Mm.
lifestyle services, which
Right.
means exclusive access to very specific events, the Milan Fashion Weeks, Paris Fashion Weeks, fashion, art, wine, sports events, but also I'm very close to those top luxury brands like Cartier, Christian Dior, Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Chopard, Van Cleef.
Yeah.
I work with all of them. So I'm almost like a business provider for them. And they've been, because I used to work curating some program for my clients when I used to work for the restaurants and creating some very specific high-end events for them. So I create a nice relationship with all those brands, not just in the
Yeah.
US, but also in Paris, Milan,
Right.
and London. So because my clients very often, when they travel, they always want to take a day to shop. And when they are in Paris, when they are in Milan, obviously you have all those beautiful luxury stores, but they just don't want to go walk in and wait in the store, ask for sales advisors to take care of sales associates to take care of them. So I'm in direct contact with all the director of Cartier, Hermes in all those cities. So I, I just message them and say, I have a very important clients coming. They want to shop. They don't wait in line. They have appointments. They have an experience at the stores. And it's very important because also all those brand directors at Cartier, Christian Dior, they know me, they know
Mhm.
Julien, and they every day they see very important people and wealthy
Right.
people, and they think about me when we talk about referral. If they have established some pretty good relationship with a lot of their clients, constant clients, and they mention my name and it's
Yes.
referral, I know them. It's been huge for me, huge to get those type of those clients. Uh,
Yes.
so this component, I know it's pretty unique. I've been working really hard on it for a long time, but now I'm using it with my business, my travel business, and it's just a service
Yeah.
that I include. But again, my clients 80% of my clients, when they travel, they like to go shopping, have access to those beautiful events, and
Mhm.
I'm able to get those doors open for them. And
Right. Have, like, a private viewing, like,
but
come
to
to the store after hours and shop for your Louis
but to take
Vuitton.
care to take care of
Or
this, Meredith, you don't need a lot of clients. That's why I prefer to focus
Yeah,
on a very limited client portfolio, referral
right.
only for now. So they have my full attention, my maximum personalization and attention.
Very
That's the
clever.
key. Yeah. Mhm.
Very, very clever. So, for someone who is listening and has never built those kind of relationships, hasn't been in that world, what would you recommend? Are there any kind of ideas that you have of partnerships that people could develop? Is it a super high-end restaurant, like the owner or manager of a super high-end restaurant, develop a relationship with them? Or maybe they have a very high-end shopping center in a city nearby
Exactly.
and
Depends where
start
you live. Yeah.
right. So
You
is that something that you think would be effective?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, again, it depends where you live, obviously. If you
Yeah.
live somewhere when you don't have access to the luxury stores and it's more difficult. But if you can, like you mentioned, restaurant, high-end restaurant, it's a very good idea. It's good to have good relationship with the restaurant owners or the general managers,
Mhm.
knowing that they host a lot of wealthy potential clients for you and build a relationship, and events as well. I live in Houston and I go to quite some events and they are very important for me to network.
Right.
I go, yeah, with the Houston Grand Opera, for example. They do a lot of events and charity. I'm very lucky. Houston throw a lot of charity events uh,
Right.
here. So I get invited, and sometimes I'm like, should I go? Should I not go? But you have to go. You have to
Yeah.
take some
You
business
never know,
card.
right? You
You
just never
never
know.
know. You never know. You never
Yeah.
know. And but be yourself. Be authentic. Don't be a salesperson because
Don't be salesy, right.
no, don't be
Don't
salesy.
walk into a store in the middle of the day
No, no, no.
and then drop off a business card. No.
No. That's the worst thing
Reach
to
out
do.
by phone, book a time to, like, actually have a sit down conversation.
Absolutely.
I just wanna talk about how we might be able to be complementary to each other. Um, I have clients in the area that I can recommend to your restaurant, and you might have clients that might every once in a while be asking about how to travel. Actually, the high-end, restaurant, you could also pitch a group to the high-end restaurant.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I actually sat at the Asta Globes Award at a table with a travel advisor agency owner who is also a very high-end restaurant owner in Nashville, Tennessee, and he does something like 20 Colette trips a year. He takes his restaurant clients. They
Wow.
wanna travel with him. It's an Italian
I see.
restaurant, and they just
Uh-huh.
so there we go. There's a bonus idea for anyone listening. But I love that idea of like, yeah, just start thinking like outside the box. The possibilities are everywhere. You don't have to come with the kind of pedigree that Julian has. You really can start from where you are right now and start building. And I tell you what, the demand is there and it's only going to grow. There is a massive transfer of wealth that has already started to occur, and it is passing from the hands of your baby boomer and your silent generation
Very
people
true.
who
Very true.
have very different spending behaviors than the people inheriting that wealth. And that is your Gen Xers and your millennials. You know, the Gen Xers and the millennials are much more about prioritizing experiences, memories, like you said, over saving,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
over
Mhm.
saving or over accumulating goods. So I really hope anyone listening is inspired because anyone can make this transition, but you have to be willing
Yeah. Don't
to
be
do
shy.
things. What
Don't
yeah,
be
don't be
shy.
shy. You have to be willing to understand that trust is so important with your high net worth, ultra high net worth client. So you have to be willing to put in the work to develop that trust. And part of it is just being authentic in your connections.
Yeah. Be
Um,
authentic. Yeah.
Another one that I've been teaching since day one is just be a source of good information. Be a constant source of good information, helpful tips for free. Give away your best tips for free. Once someone starts hearing enough good tips from you, they start to think of you as an expert, and that's what builds trust and credibility is knowing that you're an expert. Lean into what you do have access to. For example, if you are with a host, a luxury host like Gifted Travel Network or another one where you're part of Virtuoso, lean into what information they're giving you to be a source of really good information. Well, this has been such a great conversation, very exciting. We are really close to the last few minutes. So I want to tee it up with my favorite question, my ending question. Can you share a travel experience that you were able to have where you were like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I get to do this for a living?
Yeah. Wow. Well, actually, I have a good story. It was in last September 2025. So I designed a trip to France for beautiful couples and Paris, the south of France, Normandy. So those three locations. And in Paris, it was the client's 50th birthday. And I was in Paris at the same time, actually. So it was just perfect timing, and I knew the client was there at the same time in Paris. So, and I
Yeah.
knew it was his birthday. So, as I mentioned before, I work a lot with luxury maison and brands like Cartier. So I was able to organize a surprise birthday party at Cartier at the Rue de la Paix, which is the flagship store around the world. This is where the Cartier brand started,
Oh
the
my
first store.
goodness.
So it's very close to Place Vendôme. So I know very well the director and the whole team. And I mentioned I have a very, very special client who is in town for 2 days. It's his 50th birthday. I want to do something special. We have good relationship, and they went above and beyond. They have a rooftop penthouse, like nobody has access, and they just prepare a nice surprise for him with a custom pastry chef, a chef who just made a
Oh
beautiful
my
cake.
God.
And so I met with my client for lunch, and I told him, let's go to Cartier. And we went to Cartier together. We show him the store because it's a beautiful store. It's like a museum. And we took him upstairs, a private elevator, and surprise. And a lot of people from Cartier was there.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it's a historic apartments on top of the building. So we spent a good hours. The client was absolutely like, wow, he could not believe it. But it was not over because after the surprise, we had a private driver pick us up at Cartier and drove us to Versailles.
Oh,
And we went to Versailles after hours when it was close to the public. So it was just us, and the director of Versailles, Mr. Christophe Leribe, was there to welcome us and to give us a private tour of Versailles. Just us at 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. So it was pretty special
that is so special.
because he made me realize it was not just planning a trip for someone, but you also get into their life, personal life with them,
Yeah.
and it
Did he
was
buy something from Cartier?
he did. He did. But he did the next day because we we spent a lot of time at Cartier, more than expected, and
Yeah,
we needed to be in Versailles. So, but he came back the next day and he bought
he did.
something.
Okay. He
Yeah.
bought himself a birthday present.
Exactly.
He
But that was
probably spent a little more than he was planning to spend
oh
on
boy,
that birthday.
exactly. But it show you that
Everybody wins, right? Everybody
It
wins.
it was just incredible, and he show
Yeah,
you the access you can get, with
yeah,
the right partners that we have at GTN, but also the relationship that you can build by yourself, you know.
Yes.
Cartier, it's me. It's you know, I build a relationship. I never asked for anything. It took me some time to build a relationship, and
Mhm.
they really appreciate that. Before I asked, you know, to host some events, to do something, I didn't ask right away. They didn't know me. They didn't know who I am, why they will do that. But once you build a relationship with time and you build trust, and once they trust you, it opens
That's
the door to a
fantastic.
lot of things. Yeah.
What an incredible story, and you're only a year in, like, I'm so excited to speak to you in 2, 3, 4 years
No,
because, I mean, you're just gonna have so many more stories, and you're gonna have created so many more incredible moments for people. I mean, it's just so exciting. Thank you for letting us in your
no.
world, just a little bit.
Thank you so much, Meredith. Thank you for having me on
Yeah,
the podcast today. Thank you to all the GTN advisors team as well. A big thank to
yeah.
Amy Lou as well. It's been an
Amy Lou.
incredible.
Amy
Yeah,
Lou, the Travel MBA mentor.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
she's quite special.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it's quite
all
special.
right, well, thank you all for
Yeah.
listening to this episode, and we will see you all on the next one, and thank you again, Julian. Thank you so much.